I switched camera once. I used these great looking Canon 1D camera bodies. You created a lot of attention and fit right into my hands with all of the buttons in the right places. But we grew apart. You are not willing to give me the new features at a reasonable price and restricted video features and left out other mandatory stuff. You would not go there, you told me, and I had to leave you for Sony. Sony wanted the same things as me and had the same dreams and wishes. I still miss the attention, Canon, and loved to hold your bodies. But most of the time I could do without all of the attention and the bulk. But I kept one Canon body on the side, but I rarely take her out. The small and sexy Sony treats me better for everyday shooting and has made shooting so much less cumbersome. Sony and me has been together for almost 8 years now, and it has been great. I'm allowed to do third-party lenses and put DJI mics directly into Sony's hot shoe without restrictions. Sony, you are so understanding. But now there's a new camera on the block that turns heads. Not as small and portable as you, Sony, but the LUMIX puts out, giving me all the fancy stuff. If you ask LUMIX to give you something, they'll try to. Hi, this is the old guy. The LUMIX A7c II is blowing up on YouTube right now. Everybody is changing to this camera. But even though I didn't buy the LUMIX, I bought a new camera. Cameras for me are like long-time relationships. I like to get to know them, commit to them, and get the best connection, the best output, and the most wholesome experience. Cameras for me are like marriage. I just don't change mount every time a new featured camera comes out in a different brand. But okay, here the comparison ends, because I own a lot of cameras and a lot of lenses. But that's because I'm a photographer as a side business, and now I'm making this YouTube stuff too. But I think you get the point. I commit to cameras and get to know them until the camera and me becomes an extension of each other. That's what I aim for. I understand the need to buy new stuff and the thrill of that. So instead of buying the new LUMIX A7c II, I bought a new Sony camera, the A7c II. But as you see, I removed all the Sony markings and the brands. This is just a younger, slimmer model with a couple of new tricks up its sleeve compared to my old A7 IV. And it's going to make my day easier compared to the A7 IV on 3 different points. This is just a small comparison to my A7 IV, not a replacement. I still use my A7 IVs and I prefer them on client shoots. But for all my private stuff and this YouTube thing, the A7c II makes a lot of sense. The AI chip and the better focus, the active dynamic stabilization, and the smaller form factor. And last but not least, the inconspicuous look of the A7c II compared to the A7 IV, especially in this black version that I bought. And as you see, I removed all the markings and the brand names from this camera to make it even more inconspicuous and make it more my camera. And by doing this, I make a great commitment to this camera because it's hurting the resale value big time and forcing me to make the commitment. For me, claiming that a brand new camera has soul is nonsense. Soul is something you apply to the camera. And to test out the focus from this new AI chip compared to my old cameras, I will use adapted EF lenses with the 7 adapter because I just made a video about this adapter and how it fares with my Sony bodies. And I mentioned that when I didn't fill out the frame with adapted lenses, the old EF glass struggled a bit. But let's see if this AI chip helps that problem. Let's go to the garden. This is a test of the autofocus on the A7c II with adapted EF lens 24-105L with an f-stop of 4, and I'm going to test it. I'm going to try to fill a lot less of the frame than on my older bodies without an AA chip and see if this one does a better job with the adapted lenses. But let's see. I'm filling out less and less of the frame. I think it's actually still catching my eye. I don't know if it's gone for the face yet, but I think this is better. Already looking at it at the screen, I can't see the screen from here, so I don't know if it's better, but I'll try to turn around if it tracks me still. The AI chip can track the human body from behind and from the side, and without catching the face. So let's see if this works. I have no idea. And size-wise, you got an idea of how these cameras stacks up. And things like carrying them around in a bag or in your hands all day and attaching them to a gimbal will be a whole lot easier with this A7c II. And the last thing that made me buy this camera as an addition was the active dynamic stabilization. And for me, convenience and minimal resistance of my camera gear when I'm filming these YouTube videos makes the biggest difference for me putting out these videos. I've had a long break making videos, and a lot of what stopped me was resistance from my setups. And I just lost my motivation when errors occurred and I had to solve them. And even though LUMIX cameras are attracting everybody right now, the reasons why they are attracted are not attractive to me. The LUMIX S1 II has a lot of flashy assets, but my needs are different. I don't need all the options and just need my camera to do what I want it to and don't get in my way. Live up to its promises and be reliable in use. And the A7c II checks all my boxes at nearly half the price as the LUMIX S1 II in a smaller, slimmer, sexier body. You're good to me, Sony. Everything you do well. And I know the grass is not greener. If I take you out more often and get to know you better, our relationship will probably become even better. I don't want to go through a switch again, Sony. It's expensive and it's hard on the head of an old guy. But I wish you would just put out a bit more and be willing to try new stuff, Sony. Like internal RAW, cropless stape, external SSD recording, and open gate. LUMIX gives me open gate in all cameras. Don't even have to pick an expensive one. She happily offers open gate. I committed to you, Sony. Give me the firmware update. Let me try open gate. I don't need you to do all the other kinky stuff. But can we try open gate? Even an old guy can be attracted to a younger model. I do understand the itch, but you are probably better off not acting on it. Unless your mount starts neglecting your basic needs, you should probably stay with it. But at the same time, you shouldn't pick your camera based on a brand. Buy from the old guy.